Boss Lou, this. The bar owner was at a loss, completely confused about what was going on. Daniel glanced at the guilty female manager, then at the collapsed ladder on the ground and the skylight above his head that was only the size of a child, and he roughly guessed what happened. He raised his hand to wave everyone back, then walked over and hugged the woman himself. The faint cold fragrance in the embrace became clearer. Seeing that Daniel went to hug him, Rick didn't stop him, but his small face was not very willing, with a small expression that if I wasn't too young, I would definitely hug him. The First People's Hospital of City B. When Selena woke up, it was already the next morning. As soon as he opened his eyes, he saw a man sitting on a chair by the opposite window. His slender legs overlapped casually, the well-tailored suit outlined his broad shoulders and thin waist, and the buttons of his white shirt were tied to the neckline meticulously. It was clearly under the morning sun, but his body seemed to be wearing layers of eternal ice, with an indifferent and proud expression like a king in a medieval castle. The man seemed to be aware of her gaze, and suddenly raised his deep sea-like eyes, and his cold eyes shot straight at her. That gaze was too aggressive, like a sharp scalpel, dissecting her inch by inch, making one's hair stand on end. Selena shuddered, not caring that the strange man's gaze made her uncomfortable, and asked anxiously, "Sir, may I ask how did I come here? Did you see a little boy? 4 or 5 years old, doesn't like to talk, looks white and soft, looks cute and cute." Cute. The man raised his brows slightly at this description of Selena, then his eyes moved to her right side, and his voice was as cold as his, "You mean Rick?" Selena hurriedly followed the ice sculpture man's line of sight, and saw a white and soft little bun lying sound asleep on the small bed next to her, dripping on the back of her hand. "Yes, that's him. His name is Rick." Quote. Selena finally breathed a sigh of relief, and leaned over to touch Rick's forehead. The fever had subsided. She had some regrets after saving the child. After all, the child was too young and had a fever. In a chaotic place like a bar, what if something happened to him if he went out alone? Selena looked again at the ice sculpture man with a terrifying aura. "Are you this child's?" As soon as the question came out of her mouth, Selena realized that she seemed to be asking for nothing. The big and the small look like they were carved out of the same mold, and they are definitely father and son, their own. Sure enough, the ice sculpture replied, "Father. Hey, beauty, you're awake, I'm Rick's second uncle." Suddenly a big face approached from the slant. Selena subconsciously stepped back, and after seeing the man's face clearly, she was stunned. Lou, Saul. The second son of the Lou Group, the owner of Shengshi Entertainment, because of his outstanding appearance and romantic personality, appeared in the entertainment section of newspapers and magazines more times than artists. There was absolutely no way she could have mistaken this face. The ice sculpture man is Rick's father, and Saul is Rick's second uncle. Isn't that ice sculpture man Saul's older brother Daniel? Daniel, known as the god of wealth by people in the capital, exists like the uncrowned king of the imperial capital. She never expected that she saved Daniel's legendary illegitimate son, the glittering little prince. Next chapter.